Hey guys, welcome to the Solution Architect channel. And this is the last video for HTML basics. We will go after this into more advanced programming on websites. But I think I've covered most of the things that you need to know from a basics perspective. So this video specifically will go into Bootstrap and responsive web design. And I will just show you a quick demo after this, the code that I've already developed, and how actually to code a website using bootstrapping. So what is bootstrapping? It is free open source framework that you can use to develop websites much faster and easier. It is also to develop websites for a responsive web design. So if you want to have your website being responsive and also be able to run on any type of device, for example, on your mobile device or iPad or your computer itself, it will have the same look and feel. And it will also be able to scale in those type of environments. You can use templates for forms and buttons and tables and navigations and everything like that to be able to develop a website using Bootstrap. A fun fact is that Bootstrap actually came from Twitter and was developed by Mark Otto and Jacob Thornton. They actually started the open source project on GitHub. And at the end of this, I will show an example of how to develop something like that looks like this, that using bootstrapping. Now let's jump into the code. Okay, before we go and actually develop something on Visual Studio Code, I want to take you to a website which I think is really important for you to know exists, to be able to reference bootstrapping. The reason for that is that you don't have to go develop your own responsive JavaScript and style sheets and things like that. You can reference what is out of the box. So there's a few CDNs out there, Content Delivery Network. What they do is they make the latest version of Bootstrap available for you to reference. Now, this one, bootstrapcdn.com, this is what I use to reference bootstrapping. You can also download it to your local machine and install it. And what I would suggest, don't start with that. Maybe if you're a little bit more advanced, you can go into that. But all you need to do is just reference the HTML version within your code. So the HTML here for style sheets and complete JavaScript, and the JavaScript bundle. So if you reference those three relating to HTML inside your code, you just copy and paste that piece of code in. I'll show you how to do that. But before we go into the code, I want to just also show you that if you go here, resources, and you go to Bootstrap, it will take you to another site, Get Bootstrap, and this is where you can download the Bootstrap to your local machine if you want to. I wouldn't suggest doing that. What you want to do is understand how to do certain styles within your website, web pages. So if you go to this getbootstrap.com, you go to documentation, you can now type in anything inside here. Say, for example, you want to see how can I use a style sheet for columns. Just put in columns. Auto layout for columns. And you'll find some examples here. This is auto layout for 3 columns. There's spot for 2 columns. It gives you an example how to reference it from your divider, and this is a class that you reference. And this class reference is inside that style sheet that you're going to reference inside your code, and I'll show you how that looks like. You can put in anything inside here. Say, how do you want to show something in a container? And this will give you everything that's available for containers and how you can actually provide it. There's different sizes that it is. You can have a SM for small, and this is how you can use it. It gives you a lot of information on how to reference those style sheets, and also give you a reference on if you want to do some JavaScript, how to do that. So I'm going to just explain the basics here. Remember, this is a HTML basic lessons. So let's go back to the code. We'll start a new file, and we call it bs example.html, and no, it's not what you think. I'm going to copy and paste what I done earlier in here, and I'm going to take you through it step by step. We all know this is HTML5, and this is just the English language. You can put it in a different language if you want to. I'm not going to really focus. This is just the character set. This is metadata. So this is what you want to reference. So for example, when it is a link to a style sheet, now this is what I just copy and paste over from that website. It's got everything inside here, even a token for you to be able to pull that information. There is different, like I said, there's different CDNs out there. You get different CDNs, and you'll see if you go for search for examples, you might find different CDNs. But this one I find to have always the latest version of Bootstrap available. And inside here, I reference a class called Jumbotron. Now, let's go back to the website. If I go Jumbotron, what will that give me? So if I go back to the website and I put in search here for Jumbotron, so this will give me a nice header on the top of my website. And that is where I find this Jumbotron inside here. So I'll go back to my code. You want to align the text center, and then I started the container with a row and 3 columns, and that's it. And that's how simple bootstrapping is. Really, it's just need to know which ones to reference. And I'm going to just start this, open up in File Explorer, and double click on Bootstrap example, and this is how the Bootstrap looks like. So if I just take this out, make it a bit smaller, see what happens to the columns. It automatically aligns. So if you show this on a mobile phone, it will automatically be, so you'll be able to use your same code for different devices. And this is the basics of bootstrapping. I know there's much more advanced stuff that you can work on and you can do, but I wanted to stick with the basics. And if you start things like writing your own websites, this is what you need to use to be able to develop websites. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. And this concludes the HTML basic lessons. If there is anything that you're stuck with, please leave it in the description below, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much for subscribing. And I'm going to work next on a few things like WordPress. I'm going to create a Solution Architect WordPress site. I haven't started it. I just created a WordPress account, and I want to take you through the journey on how to create your own WordPress site. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.